It is said that we as humans are the sum total of our conditioning, habits, and experiences from our environment. If that is true, then basically we're containers, we're cups. And if we can become conscious of that fact, then maybe we can choose what we want to be filled with. I guess I've known myself a while, but knowing yourself is a lifelong process. Who can really know thyself? Still learning every day, but this is one thing that I have learned. It's about the thing that I'm going to share with you. And the best way to help illustrate this representation is by me telling you about my coffee mug and how it represents me. I got this mug for Christmas a few years back. I don't know exactly when. I just remember the moment because of what the mug means to me. And I got plenty of cups in the house and all of that. I don't remember what age I was that I got it. But I got it from all the sisters around Christmas time. We all got together, dinner, mom cooking, everybody, Christmas lights, gifts. I really don't even like Christmas like that for one reason, because it seems to bring the worst out of people. So I don't know what the birth of Christ has to do with people fighting over TVs in Walmart and consumerism. I'm all set, so I don't even get excited about it. I actually hate that time of year. And usually I don't get anything, which I'm okay with, because I got the necessities. But my older sister surprised me with this. She gave me the box. I didn't know what it was. I had to shake it. Because sibling rivalry is real. Could have been a bomb. She could have had a grudge, tried to get me, man. I don't know. Didn't hear nothing, but I opened it and I looked in the bag, just saw it was a mug. I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's nice. Especially when it's something that I didn't expect. But when I pulled it out, but the fact that it had this on it meant the most to me. Why? Because it means she pays attention to me, and everybody in my family knows that I love the mythos behind Superman. And the mythos is basically being in control of your power, and your power not being in control of you. Using it for the greater good, not just for yourself, but for those around you. To help make this world a little bit better in the way that you found it. So, I told you about this cup, this mug. Now let me tell you how it represents me. It's large, so it's big enough to hold much content. I think the content of this represents me in terms of my mind, my heart, my spirit, which I think you'll get a little insight in as I continue. And it's black. It's better when it's black. Black is beautiful. Now, technically, I'm not black. That's labels that have been placed upon me and most of us by individuals who sought to be divisive. They try to separate, to empower systems, to keep some people out and some empowered. Some of our very parents are the perpetuation of those cycles, with the things that you've been taught, things of that nature. So technically I'm not black, I'm human. There's only one human race. But since I'm always going to be seen as a black man in this country, nevertheless, I've decided to empower myself to say, like, you know what? There's a new responsibility. Not only to bring a different representation of me as a black man, but also for those who look like me. The ones who come behind me and the ones who's coming in front of me. But I also like the grayness. We're all variations of grays. Nothing's really black and white anyway. We're human after all. This whole world isn't even like that. The universe isn't even like that. But I think if we decide to define those grays, that can be our strength. The other thing is that it can hold many substances, hot, cold, liquids, so it's versatile. We're all versatile, I think, in that way myself. But I think the issue comes in is that when circumstances or liquids, if you will, is put upon you that you grow up in, that you had no choice or no say-so. In this case, for me, some of those negative substances was poverty. I grew up in extreme poverty. I remember one time I'm coming home from school with my friends, a winter day, east side of Detroit, neighborhood elementary, having a great time, snowball fights, all of that. I come across my block, and I see something that doesn't look right. I'm like, wait a minute, because my house is in the middle of the block. I'm like, that doesn't look like my house, something's wrong. What's all this stuff sitting out there? I get closer. It was my house. The stuff that was sitting out there was all our furniture, covered in snow. This is when I learned what eviction is. Wasn't the first time, but it was the first time I was old enough to understand what it is. And unfortunately, it wasn't the last. So that, along with just my mom being single, trying to make it happen, along with the fact of being fatherless, not having a template of what a man is, numerous heartbreaks in relationships, these things created what I call the dark side of the force mindset. I call that my Vader years, if you will. And just to give you more context of just how like pain has a way of twisting us up inside and turning us into agents of evil unconsciously. Some of us were conscious of it. So I actually have become the idea that love is a weakness and everything positive, because I didn't know anything about that, because this was my reality. I remember I was a young lady I was dating at one point, a woman that I thought I would marry, one in whom I love most. But I remember one time we got into it about something, she started crying about some things, and she said something around the lines like, "Shamari, what is wrong with you?" And you would think I would respond with emotions and compassion. But Shamari responded with that, "You don't know the power of the dark side." Now, I didn't tell her that, that's a joke, but that's how I felt inside. Emotionless, cold. Because I've actually just felt that if I can embody this pain and anger, then no one can hurt me even further. How wrong was I? That's why it's dark side. You can't see, you're blind. So as a result of that, I dissented and became the villain. In literature, the villain never sees themselves as the villain. They always justify their story as the means of themselves being the hero. But they're so blind. I actually started causing the very things that I despise and running from. So then as I start deepening my faith and a lot of positive experiences happening, I start seeing that I have to become better. I have to be responsible for my choice regardless of what has happened to me. This doesn't have to be me. I can be a better man. So as I start strengthening my faith in the Almighty and all these different things that's happening, I started making those changes. So the thing that I want you to take most out of this is that regardless of what has happened to you, you don't have to be that. You can overcome. You can choose what you want to be filled with, who you want to be represented as. It's your choice. So I've told you about my coffee mug, how it represents me, and I'll leave you with this. Capital One has a very positive, very popular slogan. Does anybody know what it is? Capital One credit card?
What's in your wallet?
Thank you. But instead of a slogan that's going to put us more in financial debt, which is a story for another day, I have one that's probably a little bit more useful for all of you. The raw containers, as you go home, and I challenge you to take a look at yourself with the good and the bad, and see yourself with this and accept those things and start learning how to love yourself in that way. Ask yourself the $1 billion question.
What's in your cup? Profound words if you think about it. So just something to think about. I hope that you got something out of this, and I hope that this challenged you to really consider what's in you. What are you about? Where did it come from? And do you want it to stay there? Do you want to be filled up with something else? And are you willing to put in the work to do so? In a few weeks, I'll also be setting measures to be able to offer my counseling services to help people who have these different issues to be able to start navigating through a lot of these kind of challenges. But in the meantime, let's talk about it below. Let me see your comments. Let's get a conversation going, because a lot of times for us to really expose a lot of the things that's in us, especially if we're not really sure, it's just by talking about it. So I challenge you to be transparent. Let's get it out so we can start making some changes. As we can see with everything that's been happening in 2020, tomorrow is definitely not promised. We don't know what the hell is about to happen next. So let's make the most of the time that we have left, whatever that may be. So again, just something to think about. Grace and peace to you. Please like and subscribe. That'll help me be able to build this thing up so I can start keep trying to help as many as I can. And I challenge you to help as many people as you can. So until then, cheers and grace and peace to you.